Hello and welcome to Health Bar Half Full, the podcast that makes you feel good about liking games. At least I try. I try really hard to make you feel good about it, but sometimes it's rough, especially with weeks like this where there are more layoffs. This time not necessarily on the development side of games, but on games coverage. And I kind of want to talk about games coverage, the state of it, how we can feel good about it, what it's like if you want to do it maybe perhaps, like, because we're kind of covering games, like that's kind of what we're doing here. And what better person to have here to discuss that than someone that covers games? Like, I think that's probably a good person to have on. So special guest, my Laotian best friend, Adam McDermott. Adam, you said before
See,
we
I was
can
actually
even
born.
go ahead.
Go on.
Well, I was going to say that you had a story ready to go and you wanted to wait until we were recording. Well, here we go. Like, I want to hear it.
I've two stories. One of a terrible morning, and one of making a little Laotian girl cry.
And
Which one
these
would you
are
like to
two
hear?
separate ones. It's not terrible
Oh
that you
yeah,
made a
I've had
Laotian girl
I've had
cry.
an eventful day, Randy.
Okay.
I've had an eventful day. Which one
Okay.
would you like to hear first?
All right, let's
Terrible
start
morning or
terrible.
making
Yeah, let's
a
get
girl cry?
terrible out of the way because this is a positivity podcast. We have to get it out of the way. Get to the positivity.
Of making children cry.
Heck
Got it.
yes. I make children cry all the time. I have children. They cry. It's real easy to make them cry. You tell them no once. All you got to do.
Oh. Right. So I am currently in a village in Laos. It's wonderful. People here are great. I love it. Tomorrow, I'm getting the train to a different part of Laos. It's the capital city. I'm going to live there for a while, have my own apartment, make Platinum Journey episodes. It's going to be great. I messaged my landlord, who also has a travel agency. Can I get a pickup from my apartment to the train station? She owes me a huge favor because I helped her out with money. So she said, you know what? My brother will come and pick you up and no charge. I said, this is fantastic.
It's
I'll
great.
see him on Friday.
What could possibly go wrong?
So I'm sleeping there this morning.
Yep.
And I hear a banging on my bedroom window. Now,
Oh,
bear in mind,
jeepers.
these bedroom windows, as a curtain, it's like cloth. You
Okay.
can see right through it.
Yeah.
I look out and there's a man walking in front of my door. He's on the phone and his back is to the window and he's banging against the window. I'm thinking, is this guy lost or something? What is this? What is he doing? And then he keeps banging. I was like, does he know he's banging? Is he like just accidentally banging against it? What is this? And then he starts walking up there. He walks back again. He bangs again, but he won't turn and look in the bedroom because, that would be rude.
Yes. As opposed to what he was doing before.
And by the way, it's Lao. It's hot. I don't wear clothes in bed.
It gets cold here and I don't wear clothes in bed. Savages wear clothes in bed.
It's the way to go. So then I hear him walk away again and go to the front door of my apartment and try to open the door. Just trying to open the door, jiggling it, and it won't open.
You're freaking me out.
What is this? I know. I'm here in bed, naked, guy banging on this door, calling people, trying to open the door. Oh, what is this guy's problem? And I'm here alone. Everyone else has gone to work. I work from home. Everyone else is gone. It's just me here and this crazed guy who's banging on my bedroom window. So at a certain point, he comes back to the bedroom window, bangs on it again, still not looking in. As he walks away, I think there's my opportunity. Get out of bed, put on some clothes. I then head towards the front door. He's still trying to jiggle the thing. I open it and he goes, oh, hi, taxi. I go, what? Oh, taxi, a train station. I go, that's tomorrow. It's Friday. And then on the phone, he's talking to my travel agent landlord. And she's like, oh, Adam, I get for you. This is my brother. And I go, Friday. She go, oh, so sorry, so sorry.
Aw.
Oh, okay, I tell him. And then the guy leaves, okay, he goes, okay, see you tomorrow. And he leaves. And I
Aw.
go, under what circumstances are you allowed to leave yourself in the gate, walk up the stairs, bang on my bedroom window, and then try to walk into the apartment for a taxi?
The Laotian peoples are very dedicated to their favors. They really want to make sure they fulfill their their favor obligations.
This is not. I spoke to my girlfriend. I was like, is this normal? She's like, that is not okay. You meant to call them. If they don't pick up, you just leave and they figure it out. I was like, yeah. And then I was starting to get like, I was bit annoyed. And then I started to
Yeah.
realize about my travel agent landlord, how many mistakes half her messages to me are about mistakes she's made and apologizing.
Yeah.
Like I'm asking for my help. I'm helping her with this thing, getting her money. She tries to organize a dinner to thank me, ends up doing the wrong day. And then the guy who joins for dinner can't even eat because he's already eaten. I got the girlfriend here. She wants to go see the waterfalls. She arranges for us to go see the waterfalls. We wake up early. We wait. The van doesn't arrive. We wait. We message. Turns out she got the days mixed up. It's come the next day. And then this time, once again, mixed up the days. I'm like, I'm speaking, like, I'm just
And
saying
she's a travel
Friday
agent?
and I know.
This is I feel like a key skill to have that she doesn't seem to, is to make sure things are on time and arriving appropriately at the right time.
Yeah.
So, you haven't worked in an office setting in quite some time. Is that fair to say?
This is my office,
Yeah,
Randy.
right. So, what
Golden
it sounds
optional.
like is that she is enacting the agile way of working, which is to say that she acts fast and then course corrects. She doesn't. That is a legit project management style, where it's like act fast and then course correct when something goes wrong. You can agree or
Yeah.
disagree with it all you want, but that is something that, you know, I have a certification in project management, so I kind of know about it. Uh, yeah, and I've been to businesses. I've worked at places that try to do that exact thing. Sometimes it does not go well, but she seems to take it to heart. Just no, I'm not going to think about any decision ever. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with the consequences as they come.
Yeah.
Got to respect it.
So I've decided next year not staying here. I'm going to stay someplace else.
Yeah, and
Every time I come, I'm meant to be in a village, Randy. I'm meant
yeah,
to relax,
right,
work on my videos, not
exactly.
be bothered.
Friendly
And every
faces.
week there's
Yeah,
everybody knows me here. It's
yeah.
great. And then every week there's some new problem from this lady.
You know, she. It sounds like the little girl was so distraught by the story, and that's why she started crying. Is that fair to say, or is there more to it than that? So, are
No,
you ready to
no.
move on to the crying
Uh,
girl story,
mm,
or is there more to add?
oh yes, there's one more to add
Okay.
about this lady. Ever since she took me out for dinner, which she paid for, but actually I paid for it because I overpaid by this place by about $100 US. So I paid for the dinner with the money I'm
She
overpaying.
paid you back a
Ever
little.
since then, yeah, she paid me back like 12. Great.
You're you're on your way to getting your money back.
But ever since then, when she messaged me, she speaks about herself in the third person.
No, she does not. Is
Yes.
she The
She called
Rock?
her, I won't say her name. I won't say her name, but she says, "Hello, it's Mama," and then her name.
Okay.
I'm like, "Why are you calling yourself Mama? Like, you're not my mother. What is this?"
I'm not going to
I'm
sit
very
here and say
confused.
I don't talk in third person occasionally, but it is out of jest and humor and satire. I would never do it legitimately.
She seems quite serious that now she's paid for one dinner. So she helped me and was nice to me one time, and I've helped her about 9 times, and she keeps making mistakes. Now she's my mother-in-law, and I'm going, "No, no, 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 no." Everyone else calls her, like, madam and then her name, and I just call her by her name and mispronounce the shit out of it.
On
And now all of a
purpose?
sudden she wants to be No, I didn't know, she never corrected me, so I just kept
Okay.
calling her that.
Oh man, that's
So,
okay. I'm not. This isn't a story necessarily, but it kind of drives me nuts when people accept multiple pronunciations of their name. Like, hey, own your name. Like,
yeah.
figure out what your name is and tell me how you want me to address you. I don't. I'm not. I guess if that's your thing, that's your thing. If you want to be addressed multiple ways, go for it. But I had a professor who in college who just went by he had an unusual last name and he just took whatever pronunciation you gave it, and I was like, what, how do you pronounce your name? I've heard him pronounce it multiple ways, so I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I just picked one and just stuck with it. He seemed fine with it, and there are a lot of people that just do not care what their name is.
Yeah. One of my friends, his name is Keo. So I was saying, "Cow."
Yeah, okay.
And then after a while, when I was out with dinner with him, another friend, "Oh, it's Gao." I went, "Why didn't you I've known you for a year. Why didn't you correct me?" And then his wife says, "I knew him for 10 years before he corrected me."
Wow.
We were
Yeah.
already married, and he went, "Oh, yeah, it's Gao,
uh
not cow."
I don't know, I'm picky about that. People call me Randall a good amount, and I
Oh,
can't stand
no.
it. Like, I make sure that we get out of that quick. I'm like, ooh, that's I don't like my name to begin with, so at least
I like my
call me by yeah, it's fine. You know, like it gives me it fits me, I guess, but it definitely not Randall. I even stopped using it
name.
on resumes. I don't use it anymore at all. Like I just don't even want that anymore. Just get it out of my life. Um,
Just go by Mr. Fluharty.
yeah, Mr. Fluharty. That's my name, by the way. I don't think once again, I don't think I said it in the intro. Randy Fluharty. That's the host you're listening to. If you're still if you're listening to this, you know who I am. If you've gotten this far, there's no way you don't. It's the name of the channel, even. So it'd be really impressive if you
Before we
don't
get
know.
on to games, I should tell you about making the loud child
You
cry.
absolutely should, because she's sad about the layoffs, just like me.
She heard about Giant Bomb and just
Just big fan.
let it out.
And she was skeptical about the reboot of Giant Bomb, but she stuck with it. And now she's just like, oh man, after they got her invested again, she's like, how could you do this
And
again
she's
to me,
only
Giant Bomb?
12.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's only 12. She invested over a 12th of her life into this.
Yeah, and considering Giant Bomb came out in 2008, I believe, she's been a lifelong fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came out the womb and was like,
Giant
Giant
Bomb.
Bomb.
It's great. It's great stuff. Yeah.
So this little girl, I've known her for a year, and I'm the first ever foreigner she's spoken to who actually spoke back to her.
Yep.
So she wrote me a letter last year saying how she's going to miss me so much. I would kind of hang out with her a bit, and then this year I hung out with her again. I got a friend who speaks loud would come with us and help out. So I went. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I made sure to go up to it and say goodbye to the mother, and then say goodbye to the little girl. And when I told her, she went, "Oh," and I could see her like her eyes starting to water, and she had to turn away from me and put her head against the wall and like a little bit of a cry. And I
Oh.
was trying to get her mother's like I was saying like her mother her name, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and then she's like, bye, and I was like, no. I gave her like a little small hug, but she didn't want to hug me back.
Oh.
She was like, bye. Why you? Oh, I was so
That's
sad.
terrible. That's terrible. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
You didn't make it, her. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put that on you. It went through
yeah.
you, but
I,
it was more the circumstance than it was
yeah.
you. But
I
yeah,
tried to say I'm coming back next year. That was
yeah,
like my second home. I'm coming back next year, and she was like, yeah, but for a child, a year is
is an
like an
eternity. Yeah, like so. I think about it relative terms to my son's age, who's 4 now, and we've been
Mm.
bowling. We've gone bowling every week for like the past 8 or 9 months, and I'm sitting there thinking like that's
Oh,
almost a
that's
quarter.
cool.
Yeah, that's almost a quarter of his life. Just
Yeah,
dedicated to
bowling.
bowling. He loves it.
And he can actually bowl?
Oh, so I guess this is my somewhat boring story, but I guess this is where we're at. Is that we joined a league last weekend, so we are officially in a father-son, or I guess parent-child, bowling league, and he decided because no one else. He's the youngest by far. Like there's some serious bowlers in this league. These children are like just hooking the thing like using two hands. It was crazy. Um, but he saw that no one else was using bumpers, and he's like, "Daddy, put those bumpers down. Get rid of those bumpers. I want to do it." I'm like, "Are you sure? Because if you get gutter balls, you can't get mad. Like you can't get frustrated because we're here to have fun. And if you don't hit the pins, then it is just that's just the way the game works. So you have to if there are no bumpers, you will get gutter balls." And he knows what gutter balls
Yeah.
are. Like he's very familiar with bowling at
Mm.
this point. He's like, "No, I want to do it. Get those bumpers out of here." And so he asked the guy, like, "Can you lower those?" And they did, and he is like probably one every 3 frames hitting pins. Uh,
Oh,
it
that's
is
good.
insane.
But I was wondering, like, can he physically carry the bowling
So
ball?
yes, he has his own ball, which I got him for his birthday. I got his own bowling ball, and like got his fingers fit in it and everything. And he walks up there. He has his favorite bowlers on TV because he watches pro bowling on TV, and his favorite bowlers use two hands. So he uses two hands, and he goes up there and he whips it in there and even
Oh,
hooks. Like he knows how to hook the ball.
that's impressive.
Meanwhile, I cannot bowl to save my life, despite having done it every week for the
You're
past 9 months. So
you're doing granny style?
no, like I'm doing the step up thing, and like I can get it down there. I don't get gutter balls, but I don't hit a lot of pins. I don't get many strikes, and when I do hit pins, I don't pick up the spares. Like I'm very very bad. But the
Why, why
ball
does
gets
this sound
down
like
there.
why does it sound like someone discussing their sex life? I
Well,
get it down there, but I don't really get much.
yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for a long time. Weirdly enough, I've made a lot of progress. I've produced some things by doing this. But I truly
Sorry, just the way
I
you're
go in
talking.
blind every time. It's the luck of the draw each
You know,
time. I'm surprised people keep letting me do it. Like I'm surprised based on how my performance up to this point. I'm surprised no one has put a stop to this. Yeah,
any gutter balls.
plenty of gutter balls. So many up to this point. I don't get too many gutter balls anymore, but it doesn't mean that I'm hitting stuff. Like it just
It
because
is
you.
weird if you can just take bowling out of context and it sounds like.
Yeah. Yep. And then if you get 4 strikes in a row, you get a ham bone. You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's bowling. Yeah, so he's way into bowling. He's actually surprisingly good at it. He's only 4 and he doesn't need bumpers anymore. That's insane. I needed bumpers.
I need.
Yeah, like I should probably still be using bumpers. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been up to. And I listened to your stories about how your life is exotic and some there in some ways I'm envious, and others I'm like, man, that would completely destroy me. Like I can't. I can barely talk to store clerks and stuff without getting anxiety.
Oh, like as I was leaving, literally, what was it? Yeah, like one of the girls, she runs the barbecue place. She was like, "You're leaving?" I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
and she's like, "Do you have Facebook?" And I went, "No, I don't have Facebook." She's like, "Do you?" And I was like, "I've got WhatsApp and I've got Instagram," and she goes, "Okay, okay." And then she re-downloads Instagram on her new phone. I was like, "Okay, add me there, so we can stay in touch."
Yeah.
And then I'm like saying goodbye to these people, then saying goodbye to like I'd go like a lot of people today and say goodbye. And every time I leave my apartment, it's Adam, somebody.
Yeah. I was just so I was lucky enough this week that I got to continue reading a book. I got to watch a movie. Like there's some.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was some good stuff. 2 movies, I think. Yeah, it's been a busy week for me, but I'm sitting there comparing my life to yours. I'm like, I don't know, this is all right. I like watching movies. I like being at
Ooh.
home with a book like that. That's kind of
If
my
it
preferred
helps, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I watched The Mummy yesterday. It was very
All
helpful.
right. Do we need to talk about the Mummy now? We don't. We don't have to. But my wife just freaked out. If she's listening to this, she watches the Mummy probably at least twice a month. Like she loves
Oh,
that
I
movie.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're going to be best friends.
Yeah. And the Mummy's great, by the way. I couldn't watch any movie twice a month. She actually I need to just buy it. In fact, that's a good idea. Don't hopefully she's not listening to this, but Mother's Day's coming up. Maybe I should
Perfect.
just buy her the movie.
Oh, no, 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 no. That's got to be saved for. I don't know. What age is your wife?
She is 36.
Okay, your 40th is too far away. What about Christmas? That would be a
Well,
perfect
here's the
Christmas
thing. She
present.
has several movies on rotation. I've got a good couple years of special occasions that I could just get her a new movie every time. The Mummy is a good
How does
one.
she,
Say
is it
again?
just on Netflix or something?
Oh, yeah. So, well,
How does
that's
she
the
normally?
thing. She gets really upset because she watches it. Sometimes it's free on Netflix. Other times it's behind a paywall. So when it's behind a paywall, she gets really upset. So I'm just going to be like, nope, this movie's yours now forever. You can watch it as
I
many times as
haven't
you want.
watched it in maybe a couple of years. And when I watched it last night, I had to stop after the first 20 minutes. Like, I'm getting snacks.
Yeah.
I'm getting popcorn. I'm going to put my feet up and enjoy this.
So she was watching The Rundown with The Rock. Are you familiar with that movie?
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, so I sat down just for a quick minute and I sat there for like 30 because I love that movie, and I sat there for 30 minutes forgetting my life, and I'm like, I've got stuff to do. Can you stop watching this so I can get up? You can turn it back on after I leave the room, but you have to stop this. Like I just can't not watch it if it's here. And yeah, so that's my thing. Adam, if you're ready to go, like I think we should probably talk about the topic at hand here.
Yeah. Although what I will do is I'm going to turn on the overhead lights here just to
That's
balance stuff
fine.
out a
I
bit.
will set up the thing. So basically, what prompted this was Polygon and Giant Bomb laid off some prominent people. Uh, Polygon and Giant Bomb, of course, websites dedicated to covering video games, either through a comedic lens or just through news and reviews and what have you. And I kind of want to talk about our histories with that in terms of our consumption of it, throughout the years from beginning to where we are today, our foray into doing it, because we have done it. In fact, that's how you and I met, was through
Yep.
games coverage, and the kind of the state of it today, what that looks like if you're trying to get into it, what our advice is, because it's not like we're mega successful, but I think we got some advice that we could give out. And
Speak for yourself. I own Microsoft.
yeah, well, but you're not covering your own games.
Oh no, I pay people to do that instead.
Exactly.
I pay
Exactly.
IGN, pay them a lot of money for
Right.
reviews.
So you can just while we're talking about it, like text one of your underlings and have them tell you what to tell people as advice. So we can get that. Yeah. So Adam, give me your like brief-ish, doesn't have to be too brief, history of consuming games coverage.
Number one, game trailers. Back in the day,
Yeah.
game trailers was my jam. The best game reviews. I used to
To
study
this
their game
day,
reviews and sorry?
I don't think it's been topped. Like I think those are
Hmm.
they
Yep.
are.
And then, of course, when they went on to be Easy Allies again, still the best reviews going.
Yeah.
I think you can watch Brandon Jones's review of GTA 5, and the way, like most people just do reviews as in between the paragraphs, they have like a gameplay clip. Brandon was creating mini montages of GTA 5. He was just going crazy. He's like, he wrote the review, he edited the review, he did the voice for the review,
Mm-hmm.
and he loved the game so much, he was going crazy. Like, you watch stuff like that, and you're like, okay, this is better than everyone else who's doing it. So I loved all that. Loved all the shows they did, like the Final Boss Man, Mandatory Update. They had something really special going there for a while.
Yeah.
Uh, GameSpot were always great. Danny O'Dwyer's The Point, love that.
Yep. And
That was
he's
kind of
still
like
doing
okay,
great
someone
stuff as
that's
well.
some he is, but I know he kind of wants to step behind the camera. I'm like, Danny, it's you. I'm still a patron. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's you. I want to see more of. Come on. Like, I think a while ago during their first starting out, they did something about people like the hillbillies of Grand Theft Auto Online. And he went and just hung out with a bunch of people who met through GTA Online, and he was in it a fair bit. I was like, yeah, Danny, like you be on camera. We like this. Your opinion.
Yeah.
It's nice you shooting the developers and telling their stories. Like, no, no, I want to hear your opinion. You're very good at it.
Mm-hmm. He is really
So
good at it.
his point series, fantastic. GameSpot's Giant Bomb's coverage of E3 every year
Yep.
when they would have on all the guests and panelists, and they'd
And get
have
him
on those
drunk.
two guys from. Oh my goodness, those that trio of the guys from was it Galaxy or whatever they're called?
Iron Galaxy.
When they had the three of those guys on and they like text that one guy's number one year. Love that. Easy Allies' coverage of E3 was like they wall to wall. And then of course when GameSpot had people on like the live panel shows and they have their big schedule. I used to love E3. And you'd see like the GameSpot schedule and see the Easy Allies schedule and see the Giant Bomb schedule and be
Yeah.
like, this is like 3 days. I'm just gonna like go in between
Yeah.
each one and spend like nonstops.
We could
Those are
do a
my
whole thing
go-to.
on E3 and its coverage alone, because that was like a holiday for me. I'm like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
ignore everything else in the world. I cannot wait. And it's not. It was multiple outlets where I'm like, I am just ready. And I would binge one and then be like, all right, load up the next. It's just because then they would
Yeah.
have different opinions, or they'd cover different games in E3. They had different guests on and stuff like that. Like it was,
Yeah.
oh, it was Christmas. It was beautiful.
At a certain point, I think YouTube Gaming got Jeff Keighley involved to try and do his coverage of it. And I was like, yes, more, please, more.
More, all
I
of it.
love it.
Yeah, and Jeff Keighley, big part of game trailers for a bit there. He had a show on there
Yeah.
for a little while.
Bonus round.
Yeah, which was a good show. I watched that as well.
I like that. So that's my history of games coverage. Once kind of with the rise of YouTube, I don't know. To be honest, I was just watching Easy Allies for years. That was my
Yeah,
go-to on YouTube after they formed. And then E3, kind of watch all the other people. But I don't know. I don't watch GameSpot anymore. I maybe check out an IGN review because they just pop up as the first ranked and like they're reliable.
yeah,
But in general, I don't really follow much gaming coverage anymore, which is why I think there are layoffs.
yeah. Well, what about podcasts?
Sacred Symbols is probably the only gaming one I listen to. Yep, that's the only one.
Yep. Well, all right. So
Come on,
that's
you go.
yeah, on to me, I suppose. I started. Do game magazines count? They probably do. I would
Oh,
think
hell
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
PS
So
Mag. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, PSM was kind of the one that got me into. So I didn't have the go-to game magazine because I didn't. Not to reveal too much about me, but I was not well off enough to have a subscription. It was like a, hey mom, we're at the grocery store and this one is like $2. Can I get it, please? And so I got all sorts of. In fact, a lot of the ones behind me, they're not the ones that I had, but they are the brands that I had in the back there. So you probably can't see them because they're like layered over top of each other, and there are toys in front of it because I'm a grown
Do you
man.
know some of those Nintendo Powers, are
There's
they?
a couple of Nintendo Powers in there, some
Yeah.
PSM, there's some EGMs, there's some PC Gaming World, there's a
Oh, yeah.
all sorts of stuff in back there behind my head.
Yeah.
None
Behind
of
me is
those.
a bookshelf with nothing
Yes,
on it.
yeah, pretty. You gotta
Yeah,
get some
big
game
bookshelf,
magazines on
nothing
there.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so every time we'd go to a store, every once in a while, I would get a game magazine, and so I didn't have loyalty to any of them. And then one day, not one day, my friend had a subscription to PSM, which is PlayStation Magazine, not official place, because that was OPM, I think. PSM was something else entirely, and that was when I learned about E3 because that they went to E3 and they were showing like, oh, these are the games that are coming out. I'm like, what the heck is E3? This is this is pre me having reliable internet, so I was not able to research this. I just had to go off what that magazine said. I'm like, I want to go there. I don't know how I'm supposed to go there. I am far too young to even travel, let alone think about this sort of stuff. But I want to end up there one day. Didn't happen. Oh well. But that was when I learned about E3, and then I got into GameSpot during the Jeff Gerstmann kind of era there, the Ryan Davis, Jeff Gerstmann, who would later go on
Oh,
to
yes.
yeah, and I followed them to Giant Bomb. That's how I got into Giant Bomb. And I was also a big OneUp.com fan at the time. Around the same
Old
time,
school.
yeah. So around the same time as the GameSpot stuff, I was getting into OneUp. OneUp was probably my favorite thing going. They had the One Up show, which was like, oh, we're gonna get a bunch of guys around and talk about the games that have been coming out and show relevant gameplay footage. And I really much enjoyed that. All of that stuff went away after a handful of years, and then Giant Bomb is kind of where I landed for a while, as well as like watching game trailers specifically for the reviews, uh, and random stuff like that. Podcasts, Giant Bomb and One Up were my podcasts, and then everyone, someone would leave or they'd get laid off or they'd start a new thing, and then they would start podcasts or websites that didn't last very long, but I would follow them as far as they went, and inevitably they went into a different industry or they went into development because they just couldn't they couldn't get work.
Even Jeff Gerstmann went from GameSpot to found Giant Bomb
Yeah,
and then left Giant Bomb to just go himself
yeah, go
and
independent.
now makes money. Now makes more money just himself than he
Yeah,
did ever before.
we're gonna get there. Like that's definitely gonna come up. Where, yeah, definitely. So yeah, trying to think if there was anything else in between there. G4, the TV channel, was huge for me.
Uh, So I
Uh,
missed that. That was an American thing. We didn't get that in
yes, it
Ireland.
was an American thing, and it showed up one day. And again, this was probably before I was deep into games coverage. It started off and randomly, and I live in a very small town, rural area where not a lot of extravagant things were uh, gracing me with their presence on my TV. So it blew my mind one day when I got something called Tech TV, and they had a show on Tech TV called X Play, and
Yeah.
X Play, like I ate that stuff up because I'm like, oh man, there's games on my TV and they're talking about them. Like I need it didn't matter I did end up liking it, but it didn't matter the content or the personality or the writing or none of that mattered. I'm just like, there are games on my TV. That's all I care about. And then they merged with
What did you
G4.
think, what do you think of the revival?
Terrible, tremendously bad.
Why?
because it just lost the. First of all, they doubled down on the comedy that didn't work, and I don't think aged very well. And second, it was like mostly fully remote, just streaming stuff anyway. It was barely G4. It was just G4 branded streams for the most part. Or they
Yeah,
had some sit down
they had
interviews, but go ahead.
they did try. I remember I was so excited 'cause I missed the first wave of
I was
G4.
excited too.
And I was trying to figure out, like, and they announced all these people. They had like Gerard the Completionist before he lost his career. Adam Sessler was returning. Kevin Pryor was coming
Yeah,
back. They had all these new faces. I was like, it was very optimistic. There's this big studio space. I was like, this might be a really cool thing.
yeah,
And I was trying to watch it and figure out when stuff was on.
yeah.
Like, when are these shows
Couldn't
on?
figure it out.
And where are these shows? I was going to their website and like, these are on these times, these are not on. I was like, but you've got nothing listed. When are you doing any of the shows? And then I would go to their YouTube channel, seeing if they like, X play episode
Yeah,
whatever, and maybe the show episode. Like, they weren't there either.
yeah,
I was like, there's all these random little clips and stuff, and then these, like you said, the big 3 hour live streams. Like, this is shit.
yeah. And
They're still like tied to put everything on the TV channel,
and when they
and
did X
everything should be
Play,
on the YouTube channel.
yeah, when they did X Play, it was Adam Sessler's talking head, right? Like it was bare.
Yeah.
It was not. It wasn't G4. It
Uh,
was just G4 branded like regular YouTube content.
Apparently, for that, one of his family members was quite. Initially, it was meant to be on set, but one of the family members was quite ill, and he needed to stay home.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a bummer. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it no shame towards him or anyone involved with it. It just didn't do it for me. It did not feel like G4 at all. There is a way to do it where you can get some new people in, a couple of old faces, and get the spirit. But I just didn't feel it. And like you said, it was hard to even keep track of the content that they were creating. So didn't work for
I
me.
was I watched the opening kind of like few days, and it really seemed like everyone got on well together, and I was quite optimistic. I was like, "Damn, this might be really good." And then it was like, "How do I watch any of this stuff? Why can't I just find your shows on YouTube?
Yeah.
This is so dumb."
Yeah, and then so G4 was big, Giant Bomb was big. Then obviously both of the well, not both. Giant Bomb's still going, but G4 kind of even before the reboot like went off the rails and didn't. It was no, Adam Sessler left. They kind of went online. They went web for a bit, mostly.
Oh,
They still
it was real fun when that Frosk, when that lady did like an opinion piece. It was such a fun week on the internet.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What was that?
Okay, never mind.
All right. Well, we'll have to look that up because I'm not even sure what you're referencing, and I'm curious. But
No, no,
anyway,
I was watching it. And I know there's many very angry men about the raging feminist.
oh,
It was fun.
okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was kind of what I'm trying to think of. Kind of where now it's just like bits and pieces of YouTube stuff. I still listen to. So Nextlander broke off from. So a few of the Giant Bomb guys went off and formed Nextlander, but that's now just them doing YouTube stuff again. That's kind of the trend, right? Is that these guys are just we're gonna go do YouTube and Twitch, and you're gonna pay us directly, which is great, but it's not the same, you know.
I will say there is a big group we haven't mentioned yet, and I was actually quite a big fan of.
Yep.
Rooster Teeth.
All Rooster Teeth. Yes, I saw them live in person. I saw.
Damn.
Yeah. So
What was that like?
long before they became what they were, I went to a PAX, and they were in the main stage. They're on the main stage, and they were showing off their new Red versus Blue episode. So we got to watch that in the on the main stage there. That was fun. Yeah, Rooster Teeth. And then guess what? They kind of scope creep is a generous way to describe what happened to them. Like they kind of just became all encompassing to the point where
They had a warehouse of people. I
they
was like,
had
what are you doing?
so many people, and it got to the point where like, what is Rooster Teeth anymore? That reminds me, because I want to contrast that with a little bit. Barely counts as coverage, but still something, is Mega 64, who like did parody game stuff, and they're still kind of, I don't know if they're still going, but recently they were still going, and they were pretty much doing the exact same thing with the exact same people. So more power to them, those guys.
I think they don't do as many kind of live skits
Yeah,
things as they used to, but yeah.
but more or
Going
less,
back
like,
to Rooster Teeth,
yeah. Go ahead.
one of the breakouts of Rooster Teeth that I really liked, Achievement Hunter.
Yeah, that was big,
I used to
big deal.
those like four guys, then became five, then became five in the pedophile.
Yeah,
They were great fun.
every group needs a pedophile.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
between us, we need to add
yeah,
a
we need
pedophile.
yeah, we
Then we
need to
can do
get one. We need to get one. If you want to send in your resume, head on.
yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Just list the top five child
yes,
actors you want to be with,
and
and
then
we
the top
can
5 children you have done it with. Yes,
yes,
top
yes,
5.
and pictures.
No fewer than
Pictures
10
are
pictures. Yep.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's too far, but we can we can move on from that.
What do you mean soliciting child porn is too far?
Yeah. Uh, so the where am I at today with games coverage?
Yeah.
I was listening to the so when Giant Bomb lost several of their key members during the pandemic, and then they brought on some new people. One of which was Jeff Grubb, and I kind of like the way he does news, so I followed him for news and went and he has his own podcast, so I went and checked them out, and I like his stuff, so that's not bad. And then I still listen to Nextlander, their podcast. I occasionally catch one of their streams, but they're nothing special in my opinion. But they're not bad, but they're not, again, they're not the same. And that's kind of it when it comes to what I consume in terms of games coverage. There's really not a lot anymore. And
I'm
yeah,
very sparse in terms. I don't think there's other than Sacred Symbols. Like even the podcast rotation I have, like there's Sacred Symbols, then there's like an MMA podcast, professional wrestling podcast, and like a podcast about the worst people in history.
yeah.
That's kind of my rotation.
Is that Behind the Bastards? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it, but it's on my list. I want to get to it.
Like you should check out he did like a three-parter like last week
Yeah.
about Pol Pot,
Okay.
the genocidal dictator of Cambodia who killed a third of the
Oh,
population.
dang. All right. Well,
Yeah.
add that to your list, everybody. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a quick break so I can run to the restroom, and then we're gonna talk about kind of our foray into content creation, including what we're doing now. Hang on, everybody.
While you in the background, I want to look up who I actually watch that does gaming these days
All
because I
right.
don't know.
You can give that message back once we're back from break. Be right back, everybody. All right, I've successfully evacuated my bladder, and we're ready to go. Adam, hit me with what you're currently consuming still.
So it's pretty much Ryan's Let's Talk PlayStation. He does it every single week. And then there are my friends who do platinum videos like Lewis, Joel. Well, hang on a sec. Platinum Bro, Guy Ferruski, Ludi XP, and then Sega's Hollywood and John Callum. And then I think like I'm going back through. I'm going through all these videos. I'm like, that's kind of it. And when it comes to actual games coverage,
Yeah.
and maybe I just like watch the trailers.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, do you count? Because I still watch. Like, is it because your coverage? But the reason I didn't bring you up specifically is because I think that was where I was gonna kind of go with where game coverage is going today, which is finding a niche and focusing on that and being more independent. So I didn't mention you specifically for that reason because that's what you have done.
For a decade,
Yeah, like you kind of done that already. So all right,
I've outlasted the completionist.
yeah, you've completed the completionist.
He was one of the like. There's many inspirations to a Platinum Journey. He was one of them. There were other inspirations as well, but he was like he had a little bit. So I've now outlasted him and other inspirations. The Top Gear lads, they've now all retired. I've outlasted them.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
it's
you're,
nice.
you're a legend. You've got
Yeah.
a legends contract. Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about kind of our how we got into it, what we're doing today, all that sort of stuff, and then we can pivot into like what does it look like today for people that are doing it now, people that want to do it, so on and so forth. So, okay, give me your history of it. Was Platinum Journey where you actually started?
Oh God, no! I started way before then.
Yeah, because I met you before Platinum Journey started, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right around, it was
Mm-hmm.
close, but I think you and I crossed paths.
I think before. I think at least a year or two. I
Maybe.
was just writing off to game websites asking for work, and I didn't want to do news. I want to do videos. But back in the day, they were like, "News is the big way we make money. You gotta pump
Yeah,
out the news articles as much as possible." SEO was like, nobody
I could
cares.
not do it.
This is like,
Couldn't do it.
no,
I
no.
never did news.
Well,
I briefly, I guess, when we were at Only SP, I did a couple of articles, and I'm like, I hate this so much, and I'm not doing I'm not doing this anymore.
yeah,
Can't stand it. So
I couldn't do it. I was doing videos a little bit. So I was with Only Single Player, which I met you. Then I worked with PlayStation Lifestyle.
yeah,
They were quite good. Did I think I was doing like top 5 videos, but they did quite well. They were like, "Keep doing them, please." I was like,
yeah,
I was getting money to make top 5. I was like, "All right,"
heck yeah,
but not exactly creatively creatively fulfilling.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
absolutely.
was doing stuff on my own channel, just screwing around with let's plays and whatever, and occasionally some of my own reviews and some like kind of I edited like kind of I did like a trailer style stuff. I just was
Mhm.
playing around with the editing. And I was like, how do I make something bigger? I did like video essays why I love a game, and it's like, how do I do something bigger that's kind of like a bit more fun and involved and like an actual show? That became Platinum Journey, which has been a joy to make. I just finished the Death Stranding episode
I
yesterday.
know. I saw it. It's on the list. I'm ready.
You watched it?
I have not watched it yet. I'm ready. I did as in I saw it released, and I'm like, oh wow. First of all, quick turnaround considering how long Elden Ring took you. Uh,
Yeah, Elden Ring was 5 months start to finish, and Death Stranding was I started in November, so December, January, February, March, April, also 5 months.
yeah, and but release wise, you timed them such that
Oh yeah,
it much closer together than the one before
yeah. I
Elden
did
Ring.
not expect. I think it's like 6 weeks between Elden
Yeah,
Ring and the Death Stranding. So it was like that. I did not. I thought it'd be like 2 months, maybe two and a
yeah,
half.
that's a heck of a
But
release schedule. Can you keep up with that? Can you?
turns out when you got your own place, Randy, when
Yeah,
you can make videos any time of the day or night
yeah,
and not bother anyone, kind of works for me.
yeah. So Platinum Journey. Well, let's talk about Only SP for a little bit because that was kind of my.
Yeah,
I
but
did stuff before
folks
that.
don't know what the SP stands for, so you might want to
Only single player, but
bingo.
it was onlysp.com was the official name for it. And okay, I'm gonna lead up to that, and then we will discuss it. So I started writing reviews and stuff like that kind of in my off time, and there were a couple that were volunteer reviews that I gave to people that didn't really go anywhere. I posted some reviews on other websites that yeah, because a lot of websites back then had their own blog sections. So like Destructoid and Giant Bomb both had blogs, so I'd post reviews there, and that was fine.
Destructoid. I
Destructoid
tried
was
getting a
another
job.
one that I
They
did.
didn't give me attention.
Yeah, I like the way they kind of satirized the news. That was actually my news that I got back then. Destructoid.
Their show, the Destructoid show, is really good. Max Scoville and who's the other lady?
I have no idea.
Oh, we forgot about Rev 3. Adam Sessler did
Revision
that in
3, yes,
between.
and there was a
Yeah,
few
they were
shows there.
really
In fact, the One Up guys went to Rev 3 after One Up closed
they were
down.
good.
So
Yeah.
not One Up closed down after they left One Up. I think One Up went a surprising length of time, considering the majority of people no longer lasted. But yeah, um, and what I used the things that I wrote to get to join Only SP. I submitted those as like, here's what I intend to do, uh, and that was what I ended up doing at Only SP. I was cranking out reviews. I was in college at the time, writing reviews.
Yeah. Also, for folks who don't know, this is all volunteer work,
Yes,
unpaid.
we were not paid, and we were working our butts off. We were working so hard. Everyone there working shockingly hard for no money. But I think the idea of exposure, because Only SP weirdly had a decent sized audience. I couldn't wrap my head around how or why, because I mean, I guess it's just built off the backs of the people that were working really hard there. Because the idea of a website that like, oh, it's like every other website, only it covers fewer things, was weirdly, I don't know, it was weird at the time. Especially multiplayer was huge during that time. So I guess that's maybe what it was. Like people were, maybe they just wanted an outlet for single player. But we covered multiplayer when it was convenient for the SEO as well. Like that was the thing, is that
I think
only
many of us were
SP
using this
until,
as until money. I
yeah,
think many of us were using it as like our first kind of like, okay, we'll do this,
yep,
cut our teeth, learn how it works, and then move on to something bigger.
yep. I actually did some videos for only SP that I was pretty proud of. Um, yeah,
Resident review.
yeah. Well, actually, that was my own review, or that was on my own channel. I did what they called, what did we call them, first impressions or something like that. There was a bunch. It was essentially like preview a game, like a new game's coming out before it comes out, we want a video about it, and I enjoyed making those because it was fun to show off a game to people that did not know what the game was, so that was fun. And I wrote a ton of reviews, surprising amount of reviews. I'm not sure they still exist on only. Does only SP still exist? I guess I should ask that question. It does.
In the background, that's where I'm trying to like find the channel on YouTube.
Well, does the website still
Uh,
exist?
it's like onlysp.com,
That's what it was. Yeah.
sp.com. So that's it. The domain. I don't. I doubt Nick would have kept it around now that he's with the Escapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where Adam and I met, and like I don't know, we were working so hard, I was just getting miserable with how hard we were working for nothing. Like, you, I don't know how candid we want to get about Nick and all of that stuff, but that's where you and I met. Was that only SP?
The YouTube channel is still up. It
It
is.
is.
Okay, hang on. Don't look.
Okay.
Uh, how many subscribers do you think our channel had?
I don't know. More or less than 10,000.
2.3.
2.3 thousand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's more than I have right now.
I'm trying to find when your videos arise. Like we didn't have thumbnails for a long time. It was just like the wallpaper of the game.
Yeah. Search for Divinity
God.
Original Sin First Impressions only SP, because that was one I remember.
Oh, I remember you doing that one. Divinity. Okay, we can figure out when. Yeah, yeah, here it is. 808 views, and I can give you the exact date when you uploaded it. That'll give you an idea of how long we've actually known each other.
All right.
It is July 12th, 2014. We've
Yeah.
known each other 11 years.
Yeah. 11 years. And it's been history ever since. My
Yeah,
life.
we took like a 7 year
Yeah,
break.
we did. Yeah. But
Randy was sick of me.
no, 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 no. I was busy. As were you. Life gets in the way, but
I was busy being poor and broke and miserable.
I wasn't poor and broke during those years, but I wouldn't say I was miserable either, but I was busy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that where I kind of fell off after only SP, like for a long time. I made my own YouTube stuff, and before only SP and slightly thereafter, I made some YouTube stuff, and I just ran out of steam because I was immediately after college, which was not supposed to be the case. They said, "Hey, guess what? You need to start paying back your student loans immediately before you get, like, basically the second we hand you this piece of paper, you owe us tens of thousands of dollars." And I said, "Okay, cool. I guess I immediately have to start working." And I got the first job I could possibly get so I could start paying those loans down. And
Genuine question. What if you just don't pay?
that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, eventually they start taking money out of your paycheck. Eventually.
They can do that?
Yeah.
But what if you
May
send it to a different bank?
send what to a different bank? The
Your
debt?
paycheck. No, your paycheck.
No, literally take it before they even pay you. They take it out.
You have a weird country.
Yeah. It's called garnishing the wages. If you owe money for long enough and they try to contact you and you're ghosting them, they just like, okay, we'll just find where you work. There's probably more to it than this, but that is how it happened. It happened to my wife where like, okay, you just didn't pay something. We're just going to take money off the top of your paycheck before you even get it until it's paid
Mm,
off. So,
okay.
yeah. I don't know if it applies to student loans or not, but that is something that does happen with debt in our country.
Okay.
You seem very pleased by this. You're excited.
Weird. I don't like student debt. I think it's dumb.
It is dumb, and the rhetoric growing up in America is like, okay, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna do as best you can in school, you're gonna go to college, and it doesn't kind of matter what you do in college as long as you go to college, and then you go get a white collar job, and then you're good for the rest of your life. The American dream doesn't really end up it doesn't work out that way. So
Uh, uh, well, Hunter S. Thompson was talking about the American dream being dead in the 1970s.
it's
So
true, but when you're, you know, 12, you're not really thinking about Hunter S. Thompson.
you should be.
I
He should
should
be
have been.
taught in
I should
every
have been.
elementary
Yes.
school.
I think intentionally they didn't teach me that because they wanted me to get in student loan debt.
Yeah, they're like, wait a second, it's
Hold
all a
on now.
sham.
Yeah. So that leads us to, I took a break after that job. Like I was so burnt out from just trying to keep up with money and working at jobs that I hated for a long time that I just didn't have the time or energy to stick with it. And it wasn't until I don't know, 2018 roughly, where I started doing Twitch streaming, and I did that for a couple years. It was going pretty well, and that was like the one time, that was the one way I could fit it into my life, which was I'm gonna hit the button, go live, and then when I stop hitting the button, it's all over. Like I don't need to worry too much. No post production, minimal pre production, and I can do it in a couple hours and be done. And that was how and that's kind of what I'm doing today because I still don't really have a lot of time. Family turns out takes a lot of time from you as well.
See, gotta be more like me, Randy, and just have like no future. So you
Exactly.
can
No,
put everything into
no
videos.
future. That's dark. That's bleak. You have a future. You're just sitting there saying you're in an exotic new country with a fancy new partner there. You're doing
I
well.
know, I'm only messing up.
Uh,
I'm doing
and today, so you're still chugging along the platinum journey. That's kind of your main, other than this, basically your only thing that you're doing these days, right?
So I do like secondary videos, but after a while, like what I did like in between the last episode, in between the Elden Ring video, I actually made about 5 other ones. But I know sometimes they're fun to make, but sometimes I'm just like, ah, when it comes to the editing, I just don't find it interesting.
Yeah.
For
I watched your
example,
Zelda
I
one.
did like
I enjoyed that.
oh, thank you. See, that was like that was Platinum Journey esque,
Yeah,
so that
it
was
was
easy for
pretty
me.
much platinum journey if Nintendo had trophies. Pretty much.
Yeah. So like I did a video called Looking Back at 2024, and that took so long and so much writing. And then I was happy with that. But then when it came to editing it, I was like, oh, it's just you put in the voiceover, then you find the clips to match the voiceover. This is so shit. I
Yeah.
was like, no, I want to go back and make Platinum Journey. So I think going forward, more Platinum Journey, and then I got the little travel show. I'm sitting on footage for a year, Randy. I've
For,
been doing all these
of
other
traveling?
secondary videos. No, no, like I was like a year ago, I stayed like 4 months in a city in Thailand.
Okay.
Of all this footage,
Yeah, you told
haven't
me.
even
I remember that. Like I remember you talking about
yeah,
it. Like I remember talking to you while you
loads
were
of stuff,
there. Like I meant that did happen.
loads of stuff.
Yeah, that was a while
And
ago.
even I still from last summer when I was in Laos and I stayed in a party town for a month, which was once the biggest party town in all of Southeast Asia. I still have the footage. And like, okay, I would like to get around to it, but I'm always sidetracked with the secondary videos that I don't really care about. I was like, okay, how about going forward? Let's do like a trophy wrap up video at the end of the year. Let's do Platinum Journey and let's finally get through this travel footage that I've been sitting on for so long.
Right.
Because I need to clear the hard drive space. So now I've actually got like the party video. It's going to be like a 13-minute video, and 9 minutes of it is done.
All
And then
right.
I watched it back and I was like, this is kind of fun. All
Yeah.
right, I like this. and it's interesting to edit
Yeah.
because it's a different process. I learned how to edit the travel stuff by understanding how the folks like Anthony Bourdain and his team edited Parts Unknown, which is they would make the episode with like scratch voiceover, like almost minimal voiceover. The episode should work without voiceover.
Yeah.
And then you show it and you can watch it, and then you add in the voiceover. So I was like, oh, I was gonna like a rough structure and then add on top of it.
Right.
Whereas Platinum Journey is like a big block of marble, and you chisel, and you chisel, and you chisel, and you chisel. This is like you chisel down and you add on top. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I like
That's
this.
that's cool.
You can do something. It's called like pancake editing, which is I don't know. For me, it was just an entire new process. I thought it fascinating. It was like, this is cool,
That is
and
cool.
I don't have to start from scratch. I've got my footage. I can just mess with it. I like it.
So another thing that I do want to mention, because I would love to do more edited content. And when I say I don't have time, let me kind of dive into what that actually means. Because what I mean is that I only have so much time to dedicate to something that is not work or family. And I can either spend all of it pretty much editing, making a video, but I have other hobbies too. Like I'm into fitness, so I try to stay in shape. I spend a lot of time doing that stuff.
Me too.
I worked in. That's not funny. You can tell, like you're looking great. I don't know why I laughed like that. That was very rude and just it. Sometimes when I'm. Have you ever laughed at a funeral? Like it happens sometimes. Like it's you laugh in a spot where you don't expect to. It's a lot like that. Yeah, but you look fantastic. And so there's that. I also worked in the game industry, and also I got that job because I was doing game development in my spare time. And that was something that I really, really enjoyed and I'm very passionate about. And I don't want that to go away. So like when you only have so many burners on the stove, like like you can't put more pots on the stove and have them all cook, right? Like you got to set some aside. And like the editing thing, I would love to do it so bad, but then I would have to get rid of game development. I would have to cut down on fitness. I would have to not be, because game development, huge commitment, huge time, especially at the game that I'm making is narrative heavy. So there was writing involved. It's got voice acting. I do the voices. It's got, like I programmed it. So it takes a lot of work. Do I want to apply less effort to that so I can do editing, of which I don't have that much experience in, and have to kind of be starting from scratch? It would not be efficient. Uh,
Yep.
do I want to do it someday? Yes. Like, will that day come? Yeah, I think so. But currently, right now, it is just not in the cards. So the live streaming thing is, and this podcast, which also does not require much editing. Surprise! I hope you're sitting down. Adam is not. So I think Adam walked off screen. I think he passed out from the shock. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Once more time opens up, like it's on deck, but it's currently not up to bat, as the metaphor for baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked that you don't put much effort into editing this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Like I can see it. You clearly lost consciousness for a second.
Fell off my chair.
Yeah, you did. And arrived with more alcohol, I think, somehow. Like I think that's what happened there. Yeah, you passed out and you landed into your alcohol containers,
Yeah,
and they fell into your
did.
glass. That was really lucky. I did you a favor.
Yeah. Even the fridge door opened and like just amazing.
So that's actually a good segue into how do you do this? Like if you want to do
Alcoholism?
this, yeah,
Okay, yes,
yeah, alcoholism. Yes. How do you deal with a crippling addiction? All right. So first is acceptance. You got to understand. Okay. The state of games coverage today, we can say, is largely independent. Most people that are still doing it are sign up for my Patreon, pay me directly. Those are kind of the big, and there's, yeah, including Adam, soon, hopefully me. And you've got IGN, who's kind of doing its own thing, GameSpot doing its own thing.
IGN have what?
No, they don't have a Patreon.
Oh,
I'm saying there's that over there. There's IGN. Like
Oh, okay,
It's
okay,
poor
okay.
choice of words. I shouldn't have done it in that order. There's the GameSpot and IGN, which aren't going to go anywhere. Maybe GameSpot, because it's not as big anymore. IGN's not going anywhere. And that's just kind of in a league of its own. If you're not involved in those, pretty much that leaves you with doing it independently, either through a blog. I wouldn't even say blog anymore. I don't think that works anymore. Would you agree with that? Do
Nobody
people
cares.
read blogs anymore? I don't think they do. So
No.
that kind of leaves YouTube. If you want to do this, like you kind of YouTube's videos or podcasts, like those are kind of your options as far as I'm concerned. And how that looks to you, I don't recommend trying to be a jack of all trades, kind of like IGN light. I wouldn't point a camera at you and say like, here, I'm going to cover the news today. I wouldn't do I'm just going to touch on the latest, greatest releases.
But doesn't someone like Skill Up do that, and he's quite successful?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying you're competing with everybody that's doing that. So unless you've got some kind of hook that sets you apart from those people, or you are incredibly lucky, I would try to find your niche that you can own.
I hate that word. I hate that word.
Would you rather me say niche?
No, I hate that word too.
You hate that word? Why?
I don't know. It sounds like too tactical.
But it is
Yeah, I
by
don't like
design.
that. Yeah, I hate it.
But how was all right?
It's like somebody's like, okay, how do I be? And they're like reverse engineering what they think will be successful, and they're in it for that reason, as opposed to
No,
asking
I don't
someone like,
think so.
what
I think find
do
the
you
thing you're passionate
know?
about. I think because
Okay, yeah, and then just do that.
and then just do
And
that.
if you're
Yeah.
passionate about telling, if you're passionate about telling gaming news, do that.
Do that, yeah, but don't. I would say like if you want to be successful, I would maybe I'd find another passion, maybe.
We can't determine our
if you're doing,
passions. Listen,
I
I have a
agree,
passion for Thai ladyboys. I can't control it.
and you own
So
that niche. That is your niche. Very few people can say that they are doing what you are doing in that regard. I'm retro game, and even that's probably too broad for me to really take off into the stratosphere. But I mean, it's working just fine. I'm doing all right considering how many people are doing it. Uh, I don't know. I just think about how many people are. I use this example. If you were to start live streaming a video game, would you start with Minecraft? Probably not, because everybody's playing Minecraft. Would you start with GTA 5? Probably not, because everybody's playing GTA 5.
I'd start with whatever I cared about the most.
We're talking specifically about viability here, not what you enjoy. I'm talking mostly just
Listen,
viability.
Randy, I'm a dreamer. Okay.
Well, not everybody can own Microsoft. So, unfortunately,
I think you're a bit more of a pragmatic person than I am.
a little
And
bit.
I'm more like, do whatever you want.
And
Find your
I
passion.
think that's
You know?
valid. If you can if you live in the United States like I do, and you can somehow float with doing something you're passionate about and waking up and not eating, by all means go for it. If you can make that work for you, that's the right answer. But I feel like there is a Venn diagram between demand, lack of competition, and your passion, and right in the center is what you're looking for. I think that exists for everybody. Unless you're just a
Okay.
mainstream scrub, in which case why are you why are you even considering
Okay.
this?
Here's a good thought process.
Yeah.
Me, I've got tons of experience. I can basically create any type of gaming video. But this point, I could create any type of game. What would your advice be to me? What should I do?
Platinum Journey.
No, that's kicked to the curb. I'm fed up with it. Death Stranding's last episode.
All
I'm
right.
done.
What are you passionate
What should
about?
I do next?
All right. So hold on. Are you?
I'm like a general person with experience.
Experience
This type
and
of
an
experience.
audience? Do you have your audience in this scenario?
No audience.
So
I'm
you're
back to I'm
fresh.
new channel.
New channel.
New channel.
No one knows who you are.
Nope.
What do you make? Okay, well, let's talk about this. What are you passionate about?
Wrestling.
Okay. I think there's actually space for wrestling talk. I think a lot of people are really bad at it. I think that there's a lot of really
Oh,
bad wrestling
really?
talk out there. Yeah, I think so. And I also
I
think
only
if I were to do wrestling talk, let's bring, because this is another thing that I'm passionate about. If I were to do it, I would bring my creatively, no, let me find another way to phrase it. My my creative analytical skills, which I have a lot of. And I would apply like storytelling principles and uh, narrative devices to wrestling in a way that other people do not. Other people just say like, "Oh, this person's over," and they use wrestling jargon and stuff like that. No, no, no. I want to do like character arcs, and I want to talk about like MacGuffins. I want to talk about Chekhov's gun. I want to talk about all of these things that uh, narratively are used in literature all the time and TV, movies, games, even, but aren't discussed in wrestling in the same way. And I don't understand why they're not, because it is another form of storytelling. And watching Dynamite yesterday, and I'm seeing all of it, and no one's bringing it up. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's right there in front of your face. Why aren't people acknowledging what AEW is doing for you?
mm,
And I eat it up.
so could you give me an example of some of the things? So I watched last night's Dynamite. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Uh, I that when the Bucks are doing tag matches, I really like
You're
it.
just having
Everyone else
fun.
is like, you know what? We're now PWG. Let's go for it. I love it. So what are some things you noticed of like storytelling device that people didn't pick up on?
So there's foreshadowing that they do, which is like and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but they're definitely playing off of it, where they brought up Will Ospreay's media appearances and brought it into the story. And that's true. He has been doing the rounds lately, and he's been planting that seed since he's been there. Like, I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that you strap the title on, and that just comes off. And this is unique to wrestling, right? Where it comes off as a out of character interview, but it also kind of works in favor of like, oh, this is actually informing his character as well, because now when he comes in and says
This
this
is the
sort of stuff,
gray area of wrestling where like out of character, I want to be the guy that carries the company.
yes,
But also character wise, it also works.
yes, and then
You're trying to say to the owner, like, give me the title predetermined, thank you very much. But as the character, it means like I want to win the title. It works both ways.
yes, and he brought that up, and I'm sitting there thinking, how are they going to frame this this Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay thing? And they did it so perfectly immediately, where it's like, no, I've been saying I want to be the guy. You don't get to go back on what you've done already. You don't get to go back. You've done these terrible things. You lost the spotlight. You're not the main character anymore. It's my turn, baby. Like like and it's believable and justifiable, and the character motivations are very clear as day. It's bringing up history, like something that AEW does better than WWE, at least if not any other company in the world, is they bring characters have history that is not forgotten. They bring stuff up all the time that they've done
I'd
from
say
the
New
very, very
Japan is pretty
beginning.
good at that.
You're right about that. So I will just specifically say WWE, where WWE, if there's a character turn, a lot of times it's just like, okay, this somebody is basically new from birth. Like, this is a new person. They don't talk about what they were doing beforehand. AEW works with their turns and is informed by the character's history about what justifies their turns. And arguably they're not even turns so much as that they're like new character motivations that just happen to be either agreeable or not.
Well, then what do you think of John Cena's heel turn where he's running down the crowd?
Kind of hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it because
Can't
it's
believe.
it's revisionist history at best. It's not my thing, and I know that's kind of the difference between WWE, which is like carnal. In fact, Will Ospreay, going back to him for a second, I saw in an interview where he called WWE pantomiming, and I'm like, that's perfect. It is pantomiming. That's exactly what they're doing. They don't give a crap about anything that came before. They're just worried about what's here and now. They don't care about what's tomorrow. They just want to get a reaction today, and I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But anyway, like that kind of thought, I think about wrestling in those kind of analytical ways all the time. And I talk to friends about it, and they're like, "You're overthinking this." I'm like, "I don't think I am. Like, I think they're doing this on
You're
purpose.
thinking about it about like 1/10 the amount the actual wrestlers think
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think so. Maybe, but I think a lot of it's intentional. I would make that argument. There was a time, and I wish they addressed this more. There was a time where, and we're getting way off the rails on this wrestling talk, but we'll wrap it up with this final point. It was a blood and guts match, I believe, and Wheeler Yuta was about to get like completely destroyed, like go through a flaming table or something. I'm exaggerating for effect, but he was about to. It was very clear he was about to get basically murdered. And John Moxley, halfway across the ring, tapped out. He tapped out to save Wheeler Yuta, and these people were heels at the time. And I'm like, that is just brilliant, complex character stuff where these heels still care about one another. He doesn't want his you know, his underling, his friend, his whatever, like his adopted son, if you will, to get hurt. And I'm just thinking like, oh, this guy who's supposed to be like violent and unpredictable and crazy. Oh no, wait, he's actually a person and he cares about other people. And that makes me care more about wrestling if I believe them as people. I wish they
Yeah.
brought that
Yeah.
moment up again because it blew my mind when that happened, and they haven't mentioned
Yeah.
it ever since. but
The
that's
bad
on
guy
purpose.
yeah. The bad guy sacrificed himself for his fellow bad guy.
Yeah. How cool is it? That's just
Mm.
a level of humanity and character work that wrestling rarely does. And they knew what they were
Yeah.
doing when they did it. So
So most wrestling stuff these days just like recaps.
yeah, recaps or reactions. And I don't know. I kind of like the idea of it. There are people that are doing what I just said. Like there was a Super Eye Patch Wolf. If you're familiar with him, he does some
Yeah, but he does
long
it like
form.
once a year for 3 hours.
Yes, yes. And I also disagree with a lot of the stuff he says. I think he's very good at what he does, but I don't agree with his analysis in a lot of cases. So,
Mhm.
and that's where I come in. But I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that if I were
I
to
think we
find
found your new. I think we found your new podcast.
if I were to find my targeted passion, not I won't use the N word, and not that N word, the other N word that I used already.
Yeah, don't use the N word, Randy.
No N words here today. Uh, if I, yeah, that would be the targeted passion. Like that's just an example. It's like find what you're passionate about, and then find a unique way to target it in a way that's not necessarily being. And that's how I would say, like, because no, very few people are doing Platinum Journey esque stuff. Nobody, I would
That's
argue, is doing it as well as you, and you were definitely among the first, if not the first.
so there's actually a lot of people doing platinum videos these days,
Yes,
like
that is true.
300 plus.
Well, on the backs of you, kind of, right?
Nope,
No?
nope, nope. Nobody was inspired by me. They were inspired by a guy called Nick Aor. He pioneered that style, that thumbnail style, the title style, and he was inspired by Mr. Beast. He's very open about this,
Okay,
but he's like got like what, 400,000 subscribers these days.
fair. Was this
He never
before or
watched
after
me.
you, though?
Oh, after, but he never watched me.
Okay,
He had no
fair.
idea who I
But you
was.
still got you got your hook in before like before it took off.
Yeah, but they all went in the kind of like my titles and thumbnails are very much like here's the name of the game, here's the series
Yes.
name, and I don't want to shout at people, and I kind of treat it more as a documentary as opposed to like here's a trophy and here's a trophy and here's a trophy and here's a trophy.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because
So
that's kind of where mine is going. Where like yes, I'm doing retro games and it's fairly broad, but I'm also doing it in a painfully, sometimes to a fault, authentic, realistic way where I'm not trying to lie to you about anything more than what this is. I'm not giving you a shocked reaction face. I'm not yelling at you. It's just me and my extremely dry, laid back sense of humor. My thumbnails are just
mhm.
a shot of the video. Like I don't even really adjust the thumbnails at all. I see what YouTube has to offer me in terms of suggestions for thumbnails. I usually take just one of those and that works. Like I get people saying like, yeah, this is weirdly refreshing, not getting yelled at by or lied to by people.
Yeah.
And I've got a Discord community that is way into that whole thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you can't cover mainstream new games, although arguably I did say that. But let me reiterate a little bit. You can find a unique way to cover something that's covered to death, and I think that applies to
Yeah,
games coverage as well.
I think so too. I know one of the biggest compliments I get was by the man who does Game Maker's Toolkit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
He
remember.
liked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
That
still
that.
have that thing saved.
Yeah. You should, because that blew my mind. Because like that's a big deal. Game Maker's Toolkit
Uh,
is a.
but yeah, I would say like generally all the people doing platinum videos right now, they never knew about me,
So they're all
so
inspired.
I can't
Now,
speak.
how are those other ones
They're
doing?
all inspired. They're all inspired by Nick Aor.
So not Nick Aor. You say he's doing quite well. What are all those? Are those other ones doing well?
Oh yeah, anywhere from 10,000 to hundreds of thousands to one guy's up around 800,000.
Platinum trophies hot right now.
Hot, and there are some folks starting to like die off. You know, when you got like it was like a gold rush these past 2
So
years.
that's
Some
proving
gold,
my point,
every
which is to say, like, if you have too much competition, you're going to get lost, right? And what better way to get lost than to say, like, I'm going to cover Minecraft? Again, I keep using Minecraft. I'm picking on Minecraft, but that's, like the
Mhm.
biggest game in the world. But good luck being found in tens of thousands of daily videos of Minecraft, right? That's kind of my point. If there was a gold rush of platinum videos and some of them are dying off because they just got lost in the shuffle, like, okay, maybe don't do a platinum video anymore because you missed your boat.
but the folks who died off are kind of they were in over their head
They couldn't
because
compete.
it's not like well, yeah, because you take it's a big thing to do. It's not like a let's play. It's like it's a big
No,
getting
yeah,
the platinum can
it
take like
is. It's a big,
20 hours, 30 hours, who knows? And you're gonna take that and
and
like
that's
make a
that's
video.
gameplay alone. You still got to edit it, and
Yeah. Although many people these days, what they do is do like what's called like if you're on OBS, you can do kind of like 5 minutes. If something happens, you can just like push a button and it saves the last 5 minutes or
right.
the last 90 seconds. And they use like all those highlights and put them together. So instead of having like, but I treat my stuff like a document. Death Stranding was like 20, I don't know, 3 hours, 20 hours. I don't know what it was.
Well, and also your thing's gonna
Elden Ring
live
was,
forever because you can watch that at any time. I watched your first one not too long ago, and it still holds up. Like, yeah, there's
Mhm. Thank you.
yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the foundation's still there. I don't. It's not much different today than it was back then. So
Yep, I kinda knocked out of the park when I came up with
yeah,
it.
it's
I
good
sat in
stuff.
an office getting paid money to come up with Platinum Journey. It was great.
Yeah, and you kept it for yourself somehow. I'm surprised someone didn't come in and buy it up.
At one point that somebody did. I sold it.
Yeah. Oh, was it Microsoft?
I was so poor and so broke.
Yeah.
I sold it, and
Yeah.
then I got really panicky and then gave all the money back because I want the show back.
Oh wait, this really
They're like,
happened?
"This really happened,
Oh,
yeah."
I thought you were joking.
No, no, I sold it.
Oh, and yeah, interesting.
It was the only thing I had to make money. The only thing worth any value in my entire life was
Well,
Platinum Journey, and somebody was willing to offer me money for it
maybe monetary
to make it
value.
for them exclusively. And I did. And then after 2 episodes, I went, I don't like this. This sucks.
What were the? Can I ask?
Oh
I
yeah, we can
want.
tell the names. Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, who did you sell it to,
It
and
was
what were the two episodes?
uh, Sifted.net, and the owner was Shane Satterfield, who used to be with
Oh,
Game Trailer.
I know who Shane Satterfield is. Yeah,
Yeah, good guy.
and you sold it, and then you bought it
Yeah, so they were
back,
looking for yeah, yeah. That was a wild thing that I could just buy it back.
and they gave it to
He
you.
was very he's like, yeah, he was like initially he was like, "Why'd you want it back?" He's like, "You're trying to sell to somebody bigger and get more money?" I was like, "I just want it back and to own it." And I don't know what the email exchange was. I was like, "I just want to put it on my own channel and people because their website was behind a paywall.
I remember
And when
that.
the
Yeah,
episode would
is
go
that
up,
still around?
they would yeah, yeah, it's still
Okay.
alright. And when it would go up, like people would be like, "Yes," they watched it like the day or two, and then it's just like, like it never existed.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I didn't like it. It's just like, no, it's gone. it's gone. Like, and I had episodes from like 3 years ago. They were still being watched. And I was like, I prefer that. I prefer like anyone. If I'm going to spend all this time, all this effort, I want people to be able to watch it
Yeah.
anywhere at any time. And I was like, I'm give up the money, and the money it wasn't pretty good. It was like, I don't can I say? I don't know if I can say.
Don't
It
say.
wasn't good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But after like I did 2 episodes and going into the third one, I was really dragging my heel. Oh, actually, I can tell you what it was like Batman Arkham Asylum. You'll notice if
Oh,
you watch the episodes, the little sifted comes on in the front of it.
so that's available for people to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the one of the parting deals we had, part of the parting deal was that I would remain like their intro would go in front of it, and then they'd have the little they called it a bug. You could almost call it like a watermark in the
Yeah.
corner. So that would stay on it. So I
Interesting.
think it was Batman Arkham Asylum. It was Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. That was the last one I did. And let me see if I can find the other one. Oh, Shovel Knight.
Heck of a game.
Not for me. So yeah, I did those three. I did Batman Arkham Asylum. It was went over very well. I did Shovel Knight, which kind of kicked my ass. And then I did Splinter Cell, and I was just dragging my heels. I didn't really want to make it.
Final question on
It's not
this.
that I didn't want to make it. Go on.
Well, we'll finish your thought and then I'll ask you the question.
It wasn't that I didn't want to do it. It was just like I knew that it would be uploaded and forgotten very quickly.
Yeah. So did
That kind
they
of sucked.
choose the games? Was my question, or did you?
No, 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 no. I had
But
free reign.
wow. Oh man, I'm not sure I would have had the guts to buy that back because I think
What do you mean?
well because a paycheck because you were getting paid presumably to continue making it.
Yeah,
So like at that probably would have been enough for me. Like in a perfect world, I would have loved for more people to see it at the same time. Like you mentioned, I'm pretty pragmatic. Like I got to eat. Like I don't know. I guess it's a little different here when.
Randy, it wasn't enough to actually make any difference in my life.
Oh well, if that's the case, then probably.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was eyeing up improving my setup and spending money on like a new camera and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not going to spend all this money on something for like, I don't know. It was just the main thing was I just wanted people to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able like people ask me what am I doing, and then people like, oh, it's this thing. Here's a YouTube link. Just watch it. It's fine.
My wife
So
actually about a year or two ago when I started making this game that I'm making, we were speculating about what if someone wanted to buy it from me and just keep it forever, like the IP would be theirs. And she's like, "You wouldn't sell it,
yeah,
would you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would." Like, absolutely. I have no attachment to this IP. Like, it's fine. It's but I can come up with another one. I don't need this specific one. If they're gonna drop, and I was speculating what the number would be. I'm like, I don't know, tens of thousands, maybe if not even less. Like, I don't have an attachment to the IP. I would ask for like some kind of royalty for the sales of that, or maybe even the ones in perpetuity. But I would not. I would give up creative liberties for financial gain. Like that's just the world we live in, man. Like I don't like it.
yeah. I was different.
Yeah, but
I was
Platinum
like,
Journey, you should have an attachment to that. Like that's way different than the game that the game that I'm making is a very self-contained one-off story. It's not like, oh, I created a hit platformer character and I want to sell that off. That would be one thing. If I knew I was sitting on a gold mine, I wouldn't be like or even something that was very deeply personal to me, I wouldn't sell that off. But
yeah, I get that.
this is like a
It
name
was
of a game that if you want that name, you can have it. Like it whatever.
yeah, it was quite nice to me that I got it all back. And I was like, I'll give you every penny. Every penny you paid me, I'll give it all back. And you can keep the episodes on your site. And I will do the whatever it is. And because it was like, he was like, there's got to be a reason. He was like so suspicious. Like, come on, did IGN offer you money? Or game like what's going on? I was like, I just want it back. I miss it. It's my baby. So he was very kind to give it back to me. But I was already thinking plan B. He's like, if he doesn't give it back, I'm never making another episode. I'm going to make a new show called Platinum Bernie, and
Platinum Odyssey.
just Platinum Honesty. Yeah, just like, just yeah, I was going to continue it under a different name, you know.
Yeah, why not?
But no, he was very nice about things, and at the end of it, he's very cordial and said, "Listen, you're very talented at what you do, and if you have any new ideas you want to pitch to us, we're always open."
There you go.
See, nice guy.
Nice guy. All right. So that's so like, what's the positive outlook on this? I think you kind of touched on it. You can always do something you're passionate about. There are more opportunities to get your thing, whatever it is, in front of people, even if it is highly competitive. There's always the chance that someone can see it in a way that wasn't always the case when we started out, right? We needed someone to give us an outlet. It wasn't just throw your thing up there and there's a chance that the algorithm could pick it up and just put it in front of people. That can happen today.
When we were doing our thing, it was let's churn out 3 Let's Plays a day, and that's how you got noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And today it is kind of roll of the dice in somewhat of a good way, because before there was a brief time there where like you could put something out there and not you had no chance, and now it's like, okay, I have actually someone in my Discord community that for the very first time uploaded a YouTube video and it just took off immediately. So it can happen.
Cool.
It can happen. So that's a cool thing. And I think going independent, I I really wouldn't quit a job to do it. I would like be passionate about it, make that your main passion, and say I'm going to dedicate my free time to this as long as I can still eat. And hey,
Yeah,
and if
I
quitting
would
your job means that you can still eat after that, go for it, I guess. But I would still like keep your expectations in check if you're not really focused with the less racist, and by less racist I mean not racist at all, N word comparatively. Uh, find your targeted passion. If it's too broad, then like I would keep your expectation in check and just say like, if you enjoy doing it, great. Make sure you can pay the bills. Keep doing what you're doing, and maybe it'll work out for you. But I think that's a really cool thing that all of those resources are out there for you, and to making stuff is a lot easier than it's ever been. You know,
Oh
OBS
yeah.
is free.
DaVinci Resolve is OBS is
DaVinci
free. DaVinci Resolve is
DaVinci
very
Resolve is
affordable.
fantastic. Even the free version. Like if you just want to make 1080p videos, it's great. Like I don't pay for it. I use it. It's great.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable access out there for you to start this thing if you want to get into it. And maybe someday you develop enough of an audience. You don't need as big of an audience as you once did. You just need people that care. Like if you get enough people, that we talked about this in the last podcast, I think you get enough people that care, and they will follow you forever, and they will support you in whatever you do, and that's priceless.
Yeah. My Patreon and channel memberships are higher than folks with like 5 times as many subscribers as me.
Yeah, right. And then, guess what? Like YouTube ads pay nothing. They pay very, very little.
That's why I have minimal and I don't have mid rolls.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
the real reason is it interrupts the editing, but in general.
There you go. All right. Is there anything else you want to say on the matter? I think that was media or games media coverage. I think that's a positive spin
I'm
on it. In terms of the people that got laid
pretty
off, I want to address that real quick. Like the beauty is that those people already earned the people that care. So if the second they decide to go independent, in fact, a couple of them did, or were already doing something off to the side, and then when they got laid off, that thing even got bigger because the people they got invested in those people at Giant Bomb and Polygon, and
it is something you can relate to, right? Damn, I got my dream job and people liked you, and it's like shit, I've been fired
yeah,
because they just don't have, and now I'm off and I gotta like try and make my own way. And there's something like the human factor. We just like we empathize with that.
yeah,
So it's like, fuck, I like your thing you were doing. Okay, here's like $5 a month.
yeah. I
And you can do whatever,
absolutely
you know.
am going to support them now.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna do it because that's, and I would say support your creators if you think about how much you consume of someone in a day or a week, and if they are enriching your life in a meaningful way, like $5 a month is nothing. Just give it to them. Just do it. And
Even
by the way, you
even
can
me
do
with
that for me if you want. Like, go ahead,
yeah.
Pay me some
Even
money.
with like Sacred Symbols, I'm a patron of theirs because when they were doing Sacred Symbols, it kind of hit me at a certain point. Jesus Christ, I've been listening to Colin Moriarty for over a decade
Yeah. I've been listening to
for free.
Nextlander. I've been listening to Nextlander since, at least people from Nextlander, since the early 2000s, like
20
2003, like
years.
like long time. More than half of my life has been listening to
Yeah,
these people. They deserve some of my money, and they have.
yeah,
And I would
that's the way I
recommend
feel
that,
about it.
and that's the way forward. I think it's not the same. There's definitely something that we're losing, but it's not all bleak. There is a space for you. There's a space for everybody. You just got to find it. That's my
Yep.
positive outlook, and that's the Positivity Podcast. Adam McDermott, is there anything you want to say? Final words, but like advertise perhaps maybe a Platinum Journey video that has recently been released.
Yeah, Death Stranding is available for all patrons and channel members, as we mentioned. You get a bunch of more shit if you're a patron or channel member, by the way. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's too much, but I'm
especially
generous.
because it's laughably low. I've been a patron of yours for $1 a month for a very long time. You should probably consider.
Yeah, I'm always told that, but I don't know. I just kind of mm, like if I just changed the $2, I could just double my income.
You could. You could do it. I would pay you
Also,
$2.
$1 is worth a lot less than when I started.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how long I've just had you on auto pay for an eternity at this point. I have no idea how long I've been
Yeah.
a patron.
I view it like I want to the way because I live around the world. I understand how $1 is different to different people.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Argentina, that $1 means a lot.
Yeah,
If
but
you're in America, not so much.
well, what's your highest tier?
10.
So what if you remove the low tier, but then offer more at the like a $5 tier?
Nope. I offer if you are a patron, you get everything.
Yeah, I
You
think
chip
that's.
in as much as you are comfortable with, as much as you won't miss.
I think that's
That's
the right
important to me.
answer. I think you're right. I because when
Yeah. Like I did.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I had one guy after that Stranding video came out, he changed from the £1 to the £2.
Yeah.
It basically doubled his. I was like, all right, okay, but like that was I didn't coerce him into
Yeah.
like go up a tier. He was like, all right, go on,
All
take
right.
a bit more.
Yeah. So that's youtube.com/Adam McDermott. You don't need an @ symbol. You don't need any of that stuff. It's all there for you. Check it
Death
out.
Stranding coming out.
Is it
Available tomorrow.
patreon.com/Adam McDermott as well? Is it?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got that too. I got that. I made
So
sure I get it.
yeah. So do that. For me, this is Randy Fluharty. Just type that in everywhere. It'll get you there. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. And 2 weeks time, I'm tired of figuring out the date. People look at the calendar at the date of this upload. 2 weeks from now, we will be back for another Positivity Podcast. I'm going to hit the music. I'm going to hit that music. Of course, the music by Evan Bath. Such a good theme song. I really like it. It's good stuff. Anyway,
Yeah,
Adam
also, Try
McDermott.
and get Nathan next. Try and get Nathan next time. Folks are sick of me.
Yeah, we'll try to get Nathan. I would like to get both of you, but we live at hilariously different parts of the world. So, all right. Thank you, Adam, and thank you everybody for listening. We will see you again next time. Boy, positivity, boy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.